Hello everyone, welcome to part 17 of reactjs tutorial with Laravel for beginners, and we are creating the simple React app. Okay, so we have seen that in the last few videos we are working on the user profile. We can able to log in and register, and now if the customer log in to our app, then the customer can able to update his profile as well. See, customer can able to update his details, contact details like name, address, okay, and other things. Okay, so we are going to work on that thing. We are going to create the API for updating the user profile. Okay, so that's we are going to do in our Laravel 9 website, Laravel 9 multi-vendor e-commerce website. We are creating the APIs, we are creating the endpoints in that. That is the backend for our React app, and in the front end we are using the reactjs. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to run the server this time. I'm going to run this server, XAMPP server, okay, Apache server, that I'm using the XAMPP server, XAMPP Apache server for the Laravel for the backend, and I will also run the React app. Okay, so these two things I'm going to do. Front end I'm going to run, back end I'm going to run, then we will start integrating the user profile API. Okay, so I'm going to, this is my Mac. So in Mac we need to open see, I'm going to run here the Apache server. Okay, that is located inside the XAMPP, and here I'm going to give my password, and see, I'm going to run the XAMPP here. Okay, XAMPP server, both MySQL database and Apache server. Okay, I'm going to run these one starting, and I'm going to run the XAMPP that MySQL server as well. Okay, both I'm going to run. Okay, so this is related to our backend of the React app that we are working on the Laravel. We are creating the all APIs in the Laravel 9. Okay, so both are running now, we can see. Okay, so now we are going to run our project that is located inside the personal folder here. Ecom9 is our project, Laravel project folder, that I am going to run my Laravel. So we know that how to run the Laravel project. PHP artisan serve, this is the command that with that we can able to run the Laravel project. So I'm going to run this project here, and we can able to see the Laravel e-commerce website that we are making in Laravel 9. This is the multi-vendor e-commerce website, and for this website we are creating the app as well. Okay, first we are creating the simple app, after that we are going to modify it to the e-commerce app. Okay, very soon we are going to update it for the e-commerce app as well, but we are using the same database. We can able to log in, register, both from the website as well as the app. Okay, so we are creating the endpoints as well in this project only. So I'm going to open this Sublime here, in which we are creating the APIs. Okay, here I'm going to open the project folder. I'm going to open my ecom9 folder, in which we are creating the APIs. Here we can see that in api.php we have already created a register user, login user. Now we are going to create the another route, that is the update user route. Okay, that we are going to create, but before that we are going to run our reactjs project as well. This is the React app that we are running. Okay, we are no more using this Laravel 9 that we are already earlier using just for the testing purpose, but now we are using the real project, that is the ecom9. Okay, so now we are going to run the React app as well, and that we can run with the command npm start. Okay, we already know npm start. We are going to run our React app, and it will take the few seconds to run. Okay, so in the meantime we are going to work on the API. So yeah, it started. Okay, it started running. It started running fast this time, and you can see here that I can log out and log in here. Okay, so I will also open the database by which we can able to see the user that we can try, we can test for the login and update. Okay, so so you can see here that we have done the register, we have done the login, basic information. See, these about us, contact us, still we need to work on, but we have the layout. Okay, so here we can see this one is the ecom9 database. We are using this database, and we are using this users table in which we are registering the accounts. Okay, we can open with any of the account here, john2 at yahoo.com. We can try login with this one. Okay, with here we are going to try 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, and we're going to try login, and you can see we able to log in here, and you can see that it is coming welcome John Singh. But here we will show all the information of the John Singh, his name, address, and other things, and he can able to update his account information. See, we have just the name so far, we don't have the other information like address, city, state, country, pin code. So all the information that we are going to show here, so that the user can able to update his details. Okay, so for this one we are going to create its API first of all, that we are going to test in the Postman as well. And now open the api.php file in which we are going to create its route. Okay, so let's create its route, and I will here mark like update user. Okay, update user details. Okay, or update user details, or we can simply say profile API. Okay, profile API is the better sense. Okay, we can see register user for rect app, login user for rect app, update user details, profile API for rect app. Okay, for rect app. Okay, so here also we can mention register user API. We can mention login user API, update user details, profile API for rect app. Okay, and also we can do give some spacing here, so that it will clearly we can able to identify that which route is for which purpose. Okay, route. And here we are going to once again we will use the post route once again. Okay, we can also work on the patch, but this one post is fine for us, that will be easier to do. Okay, and will serve our purpose. Okay, API controller, and here we are going to mention update user. Okay, like this. And this update user function we are going to create inside the API controller, like we have register user, login user. So here after the login user I am going to create the function with the name update user. Okay, so here I'm going to create public function update user request dollar request. Okay, in which we are going to have the poster data here. So first of all we will get the data here. If dollar request is method post, here we are going to get the data dollar data dollar request all. First of all we are going to check, we can also give the input, that the data that is coming from the input fields, it will able to fetch all those data. Okay, so we can check once here that everything is coming here, print r, and here we are going to go to data die. So let's see update user. So what we can do, we can use the Postman here, so that we can test this API side by side. Okay, so in Postman we can send some details in Postman that we will get there. Okay, and we are going to use the ID, name, address, all the information that we require there. Okay, so it will open in few seconds. If you have not installed the Postman, then install the Postman. Okay, you can search in Google and install the Postman. And here like we have registered user, login user, and here after this one I am going to create the new request, the new HTTP request, and this one I am going to use the same URL. Okay, this one this URL that like this. After that API will always come with every API, and then update user. Okay, and now in body we are going to use the raw data, and we'll use the JSON. Okay, in JSON we will have the data like the id also we are going to have, like if we want to update this 22nd id of profile, then we will mention here 22. Okay, 22 is here, we will mention it 22. So these information will come from the rect tab. Okay, so see, id will also come, for which we are going to update the user profile. So here, like John Singh, if John Singh want to update his detail like something else, like only John, then he will just mention the name as John. And address, after the address, and address, if John Singh want to give some address like 123A, then he will give it like this. First we are going to update the name and address only with the id of the user. Okay, so I'm going to click on send, and we'll see uh, it is showing the get method is not supported. Here we need to mention here post, instead of get we will mention the post. And here we are going to save the API as well with the update user API, or simply profile API. You can mention whatever you want, you can mention here, and then save. I'm going to save in my test APIs, and now I'm going to run this one once again. And here you can see we are getting the data 22 John 123A. Okay, all the data in array we able to get here. Okay, so here we are getting our data, so it's working fine up till here. So now we can continue, and we will verify the user id once, and then we are going to update the user details. Okay, we will first verify that the user is valid or not, like we have done with the login user API as well. Okay, so we can verify the user with the user count itself. So this part we can able to get this part from here, that will help us in user update profile API. I'm going to copy this part and will paste it here. Okay, so see, it will tell us verify user email. First of all, we are going to verify the user email, and this time we will not use the email, but we are going to use the id this time. Or okay, we are going to check the id, that the id is valid or not. Okay, first we are going to do it like this. And here we will mention like verify user. Will mention here verify user id. Okay, so if the user count is greater than 0, then we are going to update the user details. Okay, so see, after this one we are going to update the user details. Here I am going to mention it here like update user details. Okay, so that we can able to update the user details. Here we will simply update that query. We are going to write like update in this case, where id we are going to match with the id dollar data id. Okay, so we are going to update the name and address. So we are getting the two things here, we are getting the name as well as the address, dollar data name. Okay, as well as the address from the JSON from the API, and we are going to update the address as well. Okay, like this. Okay, so this will update our user profile. Okay, so after that we will also fetch the user details. Okay, and that also we are going to fetch from the user id like this. Okay, so after fetching the user details, see, no need to verify the password, this is not required, so we are going to remove this one. We will just use the success response message here, and here we are going to mention here user updated successfully like this. Okay, so that's why I have not deleted it earlier, because we can take benefit of the code. Why to write all the code once all together? Okay, so here the message will come if user count is not greater than 0. If it is 0, then we will mention here user does not exist, so that user does not exist at all. Okay, and that we can return. Okay, so our API is ready. Now we can test this API. I'm going to comment this one, and also we can provide some more validation, that the name is valid, address is valid, such kind of validations we can also add. Okay, so the number is not number must not be there in the name field. So with the help of the validator class, like we have the validation here, okay, like we have the validation here, so we can also run these validations. So I'm going to copy this validation that we have used with the register API, user register API. So we can copy this validation here, so it will be good for us. Like the name is required, so if in case the user is not filling the name, then it will show the error. Or we can also add another validation, like we have done in the Laravel 9 series. If you will open the users controller here in the front folder of the Laravel 9, then you will get all these kind of validation. I'm going to show you like user account. So these validations are really important. Okay, so you can add these kind of validation, like these rules you can able to add these rules. Okay, instead of these rules you can add these rules, and these are really good, like name, city, address, city. So all these kind of see we require to have. Okay, so like the in mobile must be numeric and it must be digits. Pin code, that is required and must be digits, like in Indian pin code only 6 digits. So you can add these validator rules of your own, or you can search in Google and you can write those rules. Okay, so right now I am just going to add the rule for the name. Okay, so I will just do it like this, name required, and here only I'm going to mention the name required like this. Okay, for now. So now I'm going to will try to update the user details here, like I'm doing now. 22 is the ID and John, and 123A is the address. Okay, so it will update here. So let's see, I'm going to click on send now, and here you can see it's the success message is coming. So status is true, user updated successfully. Here the message is coming in Postman, and along with that all the user details is coming here, because that we are going to use for our API. Okay, so we can check here. I'm going to refresh and we'll see like if the John Singh name will convert to John, and here we have the address as well. So I can refresh from at the top, and I'm going to check now. You can see the John Singh is updated to the John, and here address is also we able to get the address from the user. Okay, 123A. So like this we can able to update all the details here. Okay, like city, like city, state, country, pin code, that we can pass from here and we can get there. Okay, so let's quickly add other information. I'm going to do it like this, address after address, city, after city, state. Okay, after state, country. Okay, and here we are going to add Ludhiana, and state we are going to have here Punjab, and country we are going to have here India. Okay, so here we are going to have here pin code. Okay, so all these kind of columns we are going to add here, pin code, and then the mobile and email is not required. Okay, up till pin code we can able to update. Okay, so pin code also, like for pin code I'm going to add here like 14101. If the pin code is alphanumeric, then we will add it in codes. Okay, so these are the information I want to update in the update user. And here we are going to have all those fields get added here, like address. Here we are going to add all the data here. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so like city. Okay, so state and country and pin code. Okay, so we can check here, name, address, city, state, country, pin code. Name, address, city, state, country, pin code. So all seems to be fine here. So we are going to update all these, and you can also add these information here also. Okay, but make them optional. If the customer wants to add anything, like the name is mandatory that the customer need to add, but address, city, state, country and pin code are optional. If the customer wants to add the address only, then he can able to do that. Okay, so now we are going to send, and we'll see that it will update. See, it seems to be updated. You can see the response here, name, address, city, state. So everything seems to have been updated, and we are going to try here also, refresh this one, and we'll see the changes. As you can see, the John profile is filled up with all the details. Okay, all the necessary details. Now his profile is filled up with all the details, address, city, state, everything is coming fine. Okay, so in the next video we are going to add this in our here account. Okay, here you can see the account component, and we are going to show all the fields here so that the John Singh can able to verify, and he can able to update his details, account details, profile details. He can able to update if he required. Okay, so stay tuned for the next video. That's all for now. Have a nice time. Goodbye.